Good Wednesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Conversations Daily News. Glad you all could be with us. Well, of course, you have your news headlines coming up on this, the first hump day of 2023. But a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and in today's Entertainment Spotlight, we'll put on my conversation with actor and comedian Scott Grimes. You don't want to miss that. Enjoy today's broadcast. For Conversations Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Wednesday headlines. In national news, McCarthy fails in first votes to become House Speaker, but did not concede. Republican leader Kevin McCarthy failed in the first voting to become House Speaker on Tuesday, a historic defeat with no clear way out as House Republicans dug in for a long, messy start for the new Congress. Needing 218 votes in the full House, McCarthy got just 203 in the first two rounds, less than even Democrat Hakeem Jeffries in the GOP-controlled chamber. McCarthy had pledged a battle on the floor for as long as it took to overcome right-flank fellow Republicans who were refusing to give him their votes. But it was not at all clear how the embattled GOP leader could rebound after becoming the first House Speaker nominee in 100 years to fail to win the gavel from his fellow party members on the initial vote. Before the second vote, rival-turned-McCarthy ally, Representative Jim Jordan, who got 6 votes in the first round, rose to urge his colleagues, even those who backed him as an alternative, to drop their opposition. "We have to rally around him, come together," Jordan said of McCarthy. But Representative Matt Gaetz of Florida followed with a vigorous re-endorsement of Jordan, underscoring the chaos within the party on Tuesday. "I rise to nominate the most talented, hard-working member of the Republican conference who just gave a speech with more vision than that we have heard from the alternative," Gaetz said. Jordan got 19 votes in the second round. Smiling through it all, McCarthy huddled briefly with aides, then appeared intent on simply trying to wear down his colleagues. In more national news, Bills Hamlin in critical condition after collapse on field. Buffalo defensive back Damar Hamlin was in critical condition early Tuesday after the Bills say his heart stopped following a tackle during the Monday Night Football game, which was indefinitely postponed. Hamlin collapsed on the field during the first quarter of the nationally televised game against the Cincinnati Bengals and was given medical treatment for nearly 20 minutes before being taken to a hospital. Damar Hamlin suffered a cardiac arrest following a hit in his game versus the Bengals. His heartbeat was restored on the field, and he was transferred to the UC Medical Center for further testing and treatment, the Bills said in a statement. He is currently sedated and listed in critical condition. A family representative who described himself as a good friend of the player told ABC's Good Morning America that Hamlin's relatives are in good spirits but going through a lot and need their privacy. He declined to give details on Hamlin's condition other than to say he is sedated. "All I can say is he is fighting. He's a fighter," said the representative. In more national news, Prophet of Doom pleads guilty in Brooklyn subway attack. A man who opened fire on a Brooklyn subway train last year, wounding 10 passengers in a rush-hour attack that shocked New York City, pleaded guilty on Tuesday to federal terrorism charges. The suspect, who Conversations Daily News is not naming, had posted online that he was the Prophet of Doom, appeared in a Brooklyn federal court, and admitted to pulling the trigger on a Manhattan-bound train as it moved between stations on April the 12th, 2022. He didn't have a plea agreement, and prosecutors are seeking to put him in prison for decades. In more national news, McConnell celebrates milestone as Senate Dems retain power. Democrats are again claiming the Senate majority, but much of the chamber's focus Tuesday was on the top Republican, Mitch McConnell, as he became the longest-serving Senate leader in history. McConnell, who is 80, surpassed Montana Senator Mike Mansfield's record of 16 years as party leader when the Senate convened midday on Tuesday to begin the new Congress. While the Kentucky Republican has acknowledged he would prefer his own party to be taking charge, the majority is better, he says frequently. He celebrated his own personal milestone with a Senate floor speech, looking back at party leaders and their different styles over the decade. And Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer cemented a legacy of his own after winning a second term as leader and also being sworn in as the longest-serving senator from New York. And finally, in business news, Wall Street slips in 2023 open after ending dismal year. Stocks gave up an early gain and ended lower Tuesday, a lackluster first trading day of 2023 for Wall Street, just days after it closed the books on its worst year since 2008. The S&P 500 shed 1% gain and finished 0.4% lower. The Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped less than 0.1%, and the Nasdaq Composite dropped 0.8%. Small company stocks also lost ground, pulling the Russell 2000 index 0.6% lower. All told, the S&P 500 fell 15 points to 3,824. The Dow slipped 11 points to 33,136. The Nasdaq slid 80 points to 10,387. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's all time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Wednesday, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Words I Choose to Live By from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, page 2. Be willing to do your part to bring the best of yourself to this day. Accomplish that goal, and everything else will fall into place. Have an amazing Wednesday. We are part of my conversation coming up with actor and comedian Scott Grimes in today's Entertainment Spotlight. Stay with us. You're listening to Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Actor and comedian Scott Grimes joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about the success of the show American Dad, but also his career is a bit of our conversation.
Scott, what has it been like for you to see the success of the show over the years?
It's been a gift behind the eight ball a bit, because 7, 8, 9 seasons, even up till 2 seasons ago, everyone's been saying we're going to get, this is the last season, So to finally see this show find a really cool place in animation history is, it's for all the people that work way harder than me. I just applaud them that they get to take a bow. So it's been really, really nice to watch people embrace this show.
Yeah. And a lot of this seems to be a couple of things, Scott. One, of course, the talented cast, but also, I think, really resonating and giving people something to laugh and think about. I want to talk about the cast with you for a second, because you guys really seem to be like a family. Does that make it an added bonus for you as an actor to not only do what you love, but also to do it with people that you love being around?
That's exactly right. I mean, I'm a fan of everybody on the show, personally and professionally. I've been watching Wendy Shaw, who plays Francine, for my entire life in these beautiful 80s movies. She's been Dee Bradley Baker, who plays Klaus, is one of the most talented actors around. Rachel McFarland, who I've known because she's Seth's sister, but also what a talent. And it's also like Seth's choice to cast maybe some actors that do get along as a family in real life that shows or you can hear within the voices, because that's rare. And we do table reads to like a theater production to make sure the show works as a thing. So we treat it almost like a sitcom, but except we don't film it.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversations Daily News. But better guys on some more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host Cyrus Webb saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Daily News today. Now let's go make it a great one.